Good evening. I wish to call the Lee County Board of Commissioners to order on this October 6th of 2025. Welcome everyone. For those that are new here, please make sure you silence your cell phones. In the meantime, we're going to stand for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, you have also instructed us to pray for our governing officials, and we come to you in the spirit of this petition. We pray for our national, state, and county government and its executive, legislative, and judicial servants. May they indeed be servants unto the people and govern in a virtuous manner that protects the right to life, liberty, and property. May they all heed your mandate in Romans 13:4 to be in positions of authority as God's servant and for the good of the public. They govern in what we confess are difficult times. May they plead with you to give them wisdom, and may your grace to govern wisely be poured out on them. Protect us from the oppression and loss of freedoms that other countries have experienced, and help us to value and preserve freedom, which we know only comes from you. In the most holy and precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You have the agenda in front of you. Is there any additional items to add to the agenda? We have a quorum. Yes. I do wish to remove item 2E from the consent agenda, the Lee County New Courthouse Building Enclosures Restoration. We'll pull that from the consent agenda this evening.
Is it moving to old or new business?
We're pulling it, just taking it off the agenda. Any other additions to the agenda, changes? Seeing none, all those in favor I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Motion has been made to approve the consent agenda as amended. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the introduction of the Lee County Youth Council. We have Ms. Pam Curley is going to bring these young people forward. She can give us a little overview of the Youth Council and the fact that they will be visiting us for the next till December. Oh, then.
So I'm Pam Curley, and I'm here to introduce, we've had 3 of our members with us tonight. A few had other engagements, but they are currently working on what their project is going to be, and I'm actually going to let them do the talking because it is a youth council.
Thank you. Frank.
All right. Good evening, Commissioner. My name is Addison Tenard. I am the vice chair for this group, and we as the Lee County Youth Council, we want to partner with government organizations in the county to partner with the youth and just try and look out for the youth's best interest and work with them to see how we can engage the youth in the community, whether it be through service activities, civic engagement, things of that nature. And we're really excited to work with y'all this year. So yeah, I'm the vice chair, and once again, my name is Addison Tenard, and I go to Lee Early College.
Thank you, Addison.
My name is Abigail Sanchez. I met y'all last year when I came to one of the commissioner meetings. I go to Lee Senior. I am a senior this year. And like the last meeting, I just got off work to get here right on time. And yeah, that's it.
What grade are you?
I'm a senior.
Senior? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the working world.
Hello, my name is Alana Terwilliger. I'm the Secretary of Youth Council, and I'm currently a senior at Lee Early College.
Hi, I'm Corey Douglas Bratton. I am co-running the Youth Council with Miss Pam Curley, and this is my first time doing it. We're very excited to be working with everyone. Thank you.
We're so glad to have you helping Pam because she carries a heavy load. I got a question for the three of you. Have you all been to the athletic park? All three heads tilted. One's, oh, just one's, oh. Well, you need to visit it. Okay. All right. Well, we want to say thank you. We look forward to seeing you in the next few months at our evening meetings, and we will definitely have you come forward and say something. Thank you very much. Take copious notes. Next item is the proclamation. Is there someone here to receive? We have a proclamation honoring Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas the National Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated nationwide from September 15th through October 15th each year, the observation began in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon B. Johnson and expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover the month as it is celebrated today. It calls upon public officials, educators, librarians, and all the people of the United States to observe this time with ceremonies, activities, and programs. And whereas since the 16th century, North Carolina saw Spanish explorers by the names of Lucas Vasquez de Leon, Hernando de Soto, Domingo Fernandez, Pedro de Coronas, Captain Juan Pardo, and Sergeant Hernando Boyano, leaving a long Hispanic legacy in our state. And whereas September 15th is significant because it is the anniversary of the independence of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. In addition, Brazil, Mexico, Chile, Belize celebrate their Independence Day on September 7th. 16th, 18th, and 21st, respectively. Therefore, the observance of National Hispanic Heritage Month celebrates the culture and traditions of people whose ancestries can be traced to Spain, Mexico, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean islands. And whereas during 2020, the U.S. Census Bureau counted 1,122 Hispanic residents in Lee County out of a population of 63,285 people, or about 23.1% of the county's residents. And whereas Lee County recognizes the unique and vital role our Hispanic and Latino residents play in the fabric of our economy and workforce, as well as our faith communities and social tapestry. And now therefore be it resolved that the Lee County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month in Lee County and urges its residents to enjoy this cultural celebration presented this 6th day of October 2025, signed by myself and attested by the clerk, Haley Hall. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept this proclamation?
Motion.
Motion's been made to accept and approve this proclamation. Any further discussion? Signifying none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Would you like to say something? Would anybody like to speak?
I guess I've been voluntold to. So to my Lee County Commissioners, thank you for the proclamation celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. As somebody that was born and raised here in Lee County, I am a very proud resident. And this is really something that is close to my heart coming from immigrant parents. I do invite everyone. This week follows into Downtown Street Fest, and part of Downtown Street Fest is Latino Fest. We have, in the last 3 years, over Fugio, a local organization that helps to bridge immigrants into our community by giving them language and education opportunities, giving our children child enrichment opportunities, our cross-cultural events, and also being able to provide resource connections to our community members. We have partnered together to be able to bring this event to our community. So I do invite everyone to come out, enjoy. Hopefully the rain doesn't ruin it for us for the first part of the morning, but either way, rain or shine, come out. Let's enjoy each other and come together as the community that we are. Thank you.
You only have a picture, so we're all going to move forward. Commissioners that are here, come to the front. The photographer was behind us. There he is. So.
I'm not a wing.
Oh, don't lose me. All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the EMS presentations. We have Medex and First Health. If Medex, who's the representative? I don't have your name, I apologize. Jeff, please. Have they queued up the presentation we have on the screen? Okay, come to the podium, sir, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff White. I'm the Chief Operations Officer with Medex Medical Transport, which is corporate based out of Ahoskie, North Carolina. I appreciate the opportunity to present to you today and to clarify why Medex is a stronger, more cost-effective, and a more experienced choice to serve the citizens of Lee County. Originally, we had our first meeting in June with the committee, and we've had 4 meetings, subsequent meetings since then, each requiring additional presentations for each meeting. It was an extended process, seems to lack a little bit of structure and consistency, and created an environment of uncertainty and inconsistency in how the applications were evaluated. We were told the board should not consider costs when making a recommendation. Staff urged the board to delay the initial vote, giving one more time ultimately that benefited our incumbent provider. During one of the meetings, there was a break called and then abruptly stopped after that. These have raised some concerns reference to transparency in the process, And the advisory board was instructed that all decisions must be made in a public forum. However, when we were finally informed, we were given a pre-written spoken letter. This is it contraindicates the standards of transparency. Speaking of the cost differences, MEDEC's proposal was approximately $12 million less than the First Health contract for the term. That's $12 million of taxpayer savings without sacrifice quality, readiness, and a clinical experience. Rejecting MEDEC's proposal means Lee County residents will pay substantially more for the same or lesser level of service. One of the most surprising claims that concerned us was our inexperience. The reality exactly the opposite. MEDEC's employees over 486 people through Central and Eastern North Carolina. Handles twice the call volume. In the past 5 years, we've run 330,000 transports. We are established as a North Carolina EMS-based provider that does provide 911 service under contract to Forsyth County, 2 vehicles. There were some questions about our service and our training records. MEDEX is the only private service in North Carolina that was given the opportunity to be its own teaching institution. So our teaching institution ranks with community colleges. We have a proven track record, and we believe that due to the large discrepancy between the prices, that we respectfully ask this committee to reconsider rebidding the solicitations for the following reasons I've listed. Thank you for your time, and do you have any questions?
Questions for Mr. White? Commissioner, I'll start with Commissioner Martin.
Can you repeat just when you first started speaking, I didn't understand the first couple of things that you said.
Okay. We had 4 meetings. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, after that. Thank you.
Ma'am. We had 4 meetings with the advisory board. We were told that everything would be in public. We came back 4 separate times from the initial meeting. The first meeting, they did not have a quorum.
Okay.
So we could not meet in June. They did not have a quorum. And we felt like we were told originally that everything would be open and transparent in a public forum setting. And at the very end, we read a pre-written response with no discussion whatsoever.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all.
Commissioner Lovick?
I don't have any questions. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Connect?
Does the county manager know how the meetings went with the advisory board?
I have heard no complaints from the advisory committee members.
I'm sorry?
I heard no complaints from the advisory committee members, from staff that was involved.
About what?
That's how the meetings went.
Or is the advisory board going to give us a presentation too, or no?
Two of the representatives from the advisory board are here tonight. What is on the agenda is the draft minutes, which I think does a good job of explaining their last meeting and what their decision was.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Sharp? No questions? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Next presentation from First Health. And who's speaking, sir?
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Davis, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for First Health of the Carolinas. And we'll have a team to kind of do our presentation. And it's the same presentation that we presented to the EMS Advisory Committee, just out of sake of transparency. So thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll have myself, and then Matt Prestwood is our president, and more regional, but is also over EMS for all of our regions. Mickey Foster will take us as a close in that final 15 minutes. He's our CEO for First Health of the Carolinas. So thanks again for having us, and We specifically want to thank Lee County EMS Advisory Committee for their unanimous support and recommendation of First Health for the Lee County 911 service. And, I think, it speaks to something bigger than really EMS. And, it's really kind of our footprint across Lee County. And so you can see here, this speaks to our service and commitment to the community for all these services since 2018. So not just an EMS transport, but, also a service provider taking care of people that need us each and every day. So, and I think more than anything, it just holds us accountable to do the right thing beyond 911 service. Just the loyalty and the commitment we have to our patients goes beyond the trucks that we transport them in. Here's our regional EMS. So just to give a little bit of background, we have 56 ambulances, 268 employees. You can see the square miles. These are, all 911 areas that we cover in all the counties around us, and we've been doing that over 30 years. So a big commitment that's very local in our local communities. You can see here our commitment and our track record. We do renewals about every 3 to 5 years with each of our 911 contracts. All those renewals are based on metrics, so it's driven by results. So, we have multiple decades of contract renewals, and again, producing great turnaround time, serving our community, adding trucks, employing, our local community members as part of our EMS service in First Health. Not only that, but we service the truck. So, I think the opportunity we have is to turn that box truck around. We build our trucks as well. It keeps our costs down. We service our trucks. We can send them back out. We can trade trucks out so that we have no erosion of service in each of the communities we serve and the counties we serve. So we feel that's very important to us. And, our team of mechanics is committed to, serving each community we have those trucks in. So I think that, again, speaks to culture. Our current contract agreement, so just as a reminder, I wanted to speak specifically to this because I know this was a part of the information that was presented in the RFP. So First Health is contracted to be the 911 emergency transport for Lee County, and that is in county. So specifically, I think that's who we're here to serve as our county residents and keep our trucks in the county so we do not have delays. You'll see our turnaround times show a commitment to that. For a non-emergent interfacility transports, which we do have interfacility transport team, any originating at the local hospital here are not included in that contract. And so something that is really important to note that when we did start that contract years ago, we did reach out and offer a contract to the local hospital, recognizing they had some of those needs. They wanted to keep some of their assets because they had the contract prior to us and provide those transports at the time. I know that has since changed, and we've been in dialogue with them and are ready and willing to help if they need interfacility transport. Happy to have a contract with them and make sure and serve their patients, all of which need to be transported out of the county. This was in the MedEx proposal, so I did want to highlight this. It says current deficiencies, really the middle section. There's two critical elements to that, and the first talks about Lee County has had just some reported possibility due to First Health and other commitments and internal transfer delays. And that's specifically around non-emergent and out-of-county transports. And I can't speak to that specifically for the hospital. That would be where those originate. But again, we are happy to serve, have agreement with the local hospital to do that. What we would do is have an exclusive truck to do just those out of county. So we'd have an exclusive team and an exclusive service. We provide them, take those transports out of the county and not impact our 911 service and 911 trucks in the county. So we find that critically important, just so we can manage our peak times, hit our metrics. The second paragraph really speaks to, we did reach out to MedEx several years ago to do an RFP, request for proposal, that really was looking at having some mutual aid and support committed to us to support interfacility transports. And we did get a proposal back for them. From our perspective, it cost more than the service we could provide, and so we added another truck in the service for interfacility transports across the region and took care of that ourselves. So There was a cause for that. It was just as you do here for RFP. It was good for us to do, check ourselves, make sure it's a cost-effective approach for us to do it internal. So I just wanted to clarify those two things that I think are important as you see it in your book and the proposal submitted. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt Prestwood. He is responsible for our EMS service across all of our regions. He'll talk a little bit about our results, response times, et cetera. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners, for the opportunity to share some of the highlights and successes of our Lee County EMS team and the proposal we've put forward to continue providing excellent care to each of the citizens of Lee County for many years to come. In our agreement, as you know, we have several performance metrics. One of those is around response time. So our response time metric that we are aiming for is under 9 minutes, and our team has consistently done that with an average of 7.55 minutes. In addition to having excellent response performance, we've also increased our staffing. So we are now fully staffed with 45 total FTEs, which allows us to have 5 ambulances staffed 24/7, each staffed with a paramedic and 1 EMT. Supporting our team is a dedicated director and 4 supervisors, and our experienced EMS fellowship trained medical director, Dr. Miller, who has joined us here tonight. One of the things that we focus on with our team is continuing to have cutting-edge training to make sure that they're on top of the latest and greatest within medical training and technology. And that expands not just within our team, but also with our first responders in the community. We've been very fortunate to have incredible first responder partners throughout this contract, and would like to recognize and thank many of those with Sanford 911, law enforcement, fire department, sheriff's office, emergency management, and the community college that have been incredibly supportive throughout this contract. As we know, with our response times, there are areas within the county that are further out than that 7.55 minute response time. And we will continue partnering, and I'll talk a bit about that technology in a minute, with dynamic resource allocation, making sure the closest unit is dispatched. Again, partnering with our first responders, as oftentimes they may be the first one on scene, and in partnership with the county, continuing to evaluate satellite stations to make sure that everyone in the county gets care quickly when they need it. Over our contract, we've made a significant investment in Lee County. In 2023, we increased the rates for our paramedics and our EMTs to stay competitive in the market, to $21 for EMTs and $28 for paramedics. As many of you know, Wake County and many surrounding areas began this, and we wanted to retain and recruit the very best and brightest, and we were able to do that. To give you an idea of what that meant, that means it was an additional $312,000 per year we spent in salaries in order to remain competitive. And to paint a slightly broader picture about how that will look for 2025, we have a projected annual wage spend of $3.73 million for our Lee County EMS team. That makes up 85% of the cost of providing the service. The remaining 15% is capital and costs directly allocated and related to the service. In addition to those wages and those funds, we have spent $1.7 million in capital. That includes new ambulances, cutting-edge technology, and our mobile data terminal for all Lee County ambulances and quick response vehicles to improve the transmission of patient care and location of our ambulances. The patients that we pick up continue to go, the majority of which to Central Carolina Hospital, with 78% of all those patients continuing to go there. And one of the ways that we've been able to really support our team and remain fully staffed is with our paramedic program. That will be here in a moment. There it is. So we have now had 7 paramedic classes go through a rigorous training program. Within that, 1/3 or 22 of those graduates are from right here in Lee County. And we're very pleased that 77% of those remain employed at First Health and are critical to our team in providing excellent care to this community. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, we have incredible first responder partners. The photo you see here is with the Carolina Trace Fire Department for the emergency responses in their district, as again, they're an essential partner for us in patient care. So our proposal for Lee County is to first build upon the strong and successful foundation of providing excellent care for this community. That includes continuing our 12-hour non-rotating shifts for our employees, our dedicated leadership team, support by our regional training division, director of training, and our experienced medical director to ensure that all of our team receives the cutting-edge training, and to continue staffing and well-maintaining each of our bases. In addition to that, we are poised for growth alongside Lee County. Not only do we provide a service, but we're part of this county. And for us, that means continuing to partner in preparedness drills, making sure that there's countywide drills and medical surge exercises in which we're providing guidance and support to, integrating into the incident command structures, 911 services, and hospital systems, while offering consultative and best practices that we see across the nation. Hopefully, many of you have seen our ambulances out and about at community events, and we would continue that community support and education, including things like hands-only CPR, and ensuring that we're assisting with the vulnerable and special needs populations with medical support, and again, by further strengthening and partnering with those first responders. We'll continue our strong performance and not only meeting the 9-minute target, but trying to stay below the 8-minute target, much as we do today, continuing to invest in new ambulances and cutting-edge technology while improving our coverage during peak demand times. We are also, again, poised to grow with Lee County as the county grows. So we look forward to partnering with the county and evaluating options for additional ambulances or additional satellite locations, again, to make sure that everyone in this county is getting the care that they need and they deserve. Before I wrap up, I'd like to hand it over to our CEO, Mickey Foster.
Thank you for allowing us to present tonight. Let me close by thanking the county commissioners for awarding us this contract back in 2021. Also want to thank the Lee County EMS Committee who recently gave us their unanimous vote of support to renew the contract for your 911 program. Also want to thank Mike Dutton. Mike and our EMS team from Lee County is here. They have done a fantastic job meeting every performance measure and metric, as Matt kind of alluded, that you guys gave us a few years ago. And we set a high bar at First Health and a high standard. First Health has been ranked as a top 100 in the country health system 8 different times, more than any other North Carolina hospital and health system. Health Grades has given us their Patient Experience Award for our patient satisfaction results. We have been in the top 10% of all hospitals in the country for 18 years in a row. That's the longest streak in the state of North Carolina from any health system. And then I believe in a great work culture, and I think we have that at Lee County EMS and all of our EMS divisions. Forbes magazine just ranked First Health the 9th best employer in the entire state of North Carolina. That makes us #1 in health care of all hospitals in the state. Forbes also just ranked First Health the 8th best place to work in health care in the entire country. And Forbes doesn't give you those lists, you have to earn it. And as a reminder for the commissioners and everybody in the room, I am a Lee County native, born here, I was raised here. I lived in Sanford for 33 years. I'm a 1990 graduate of Lee County Senior High School right across the street. So healthcare for me in Lee County is very personal. I know hundreds, if not thousands, of people that I grew up with that come to our services, and I want to make sure every single person that we pick up on our EMS trucks is treated like royalty, and that is my commitment to the citizens of Lee County and my commitment to these county commissioners. So thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing us to bid, and thank you for giving us a few minutes tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We have time for questions. Commissioner Sharp?
I don't have any.
Commissioner Reeves? Commissioner Connect? Commissioner Levick?
Well, I had some, but they answered them on their presentation, so thank you.
Commissioner Martin?
No, thank you.
I just want to say I did have an opportunity to ride in one of your trucks. And I was checking out the equipment and really briefing or getting a background on your staff, and I was impressed. Thank you. It all turned out well. Of course, the daughter-in-law wanted to know why I was being wheeled into the emergency room, but that's okay. Next item on the agenda is to hold a public hearing on the need for emergency medical services in Lee County and for the need for a franchise to cover those services. Who's taking this?
Is that, okay. So North Carolina General Statutes 153A250 allows counties by ordinance to franchise ambulance services provided in the county to the public. The statute also requests the board to hold the statute requires the board to hold the public hearing, and historically, our board has held 2 public hearings since 1997 when we started franchising for this service. So one will be held tonight, and the second one will be held on October 20th of 2025. We advertise the public hearing in the Sanford Herald and on our website. The statutes require it to be 2 successive weekends, so it was September 20th and September 27th. And at this time, the board can hold the public hearing and review the comments that are made.
Any questions for Whitney before we open the public hearing? Seeing none, I now open the public hearing for the need for emergency medical services in Lee County and the need for a franchise to cover those services. Just a guidance for the public: if you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name and your address, and we will move from there. Floor is yours.
So I'm Nathan Miller. I'm the EMS Medical Director, local ER doc in the region. My address is on the sheet there. I'm a current resident in Pinehurst, though did recently buy some land in the northern part of this county, so I tend to be a long-term resident here as well, so have some personal vested interest as well. But I just want to make a couple of comments regarding the EMS franchise. Delivering high-quality EMS service is a big undertaking, takes a lot of infrastructure to do efficiently and deliver both cost-effective as well as high-quality care, and I'm definitely an advocate for both of those things. I've been in my current role with First Health EMS as their medical director for the EMS system for about 2.5 years, so mid-cycle, at least on this contract. And I'll say that my experience has been that they're very committed to support quality patient care. I'm more on obviously the high quality patient care side than the finance side of things, but when we need to make changes to deliver high quality care, whether it's updating protocols or responding to some change in the evidence of what is high quality care, there's been no hesitation to step up and support those changes, even though it may not be reflected in the cost of the contract or something that was signed a few years ago or a few years prior. Let's see, a couple examples they talked about in their presentation earlier, but for example, developing those employees who are not currently paramedics, bringing them up to that pipeline at their cost to have a high quality provider there in the first place, responding to the homes here in Lee County, as well as ongoing training, which is fairly time intensive, developed to keep everyone up to date. In addition to the contract metrics that they mentioned earlier, I can say on my side, the Lee County EMS division also performs very well on multiple national performance benchmarks as well, which aren't specifically outlined in there, but at or above average in most of those that we're tracking. So it's a hard thing to deliver, but they've been delivering on it at least in the 2.5 years I've been here, and there's clearly support to continue that in the future. Thank you.
Just real quick, did you provide your address?
15 Adams Circle, and it's in Pinehurst, is where my residential address is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else for or opposed? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm Teresa Tudor. I'm a Sanford resident. I'm a retired educator. I'm 77. And I've come to speak on behalf of First Health EMS. Due to some chronic health issues I have to call 911 maybe once a year, and First Health just arrives in moments. Their representatives are professional, they're very proficient, knowledgeable, they're skilled with their strategies and the equipment. They're also very kind and helpful. And I want to say this summer, I was a bit of a frequent flyer. I had to go 2 or 3 times this summer, call them. One time I was coming from Moore County and I was trying to cross the Lee County line and pull into a business so I could get these EMS people. I tore in and grabbed my EpiPen, and the business owner called them, and it really worked out great. An earlier day was really frightening. I awoke in the middle of the night with a shock that I didn't realize I had an allergy, and all I had time for was 911 and unlock the door, and then I collapsed. So EMS representatives saved my life that night, and I guess it's not necessary to say they've knowing First Health EMS services or emergency medical services are there for me just gives me a quality of life that a lot of seniors couldn't have. And I may have left off some things. I made a little list, but you can tell I'm a little nervous. I'm a retired middle school teacher, so I'm used to, if you could jump up and down or, you know, holler or something, I'd be more used to speaking with you maybe.
Treat them like children, yes.
There you go. I think that's what I wanted to say is I've lived in Sanford 20 years. I retired here from Moore County, and one of the real blessings of my retirement is knowing that I have access to quality emergency medical services, and I'm a First Health fan, so I don't know if you have any questions, but...
Just one question, you didn't give us your address.
Oh, I'm sorry. I live on 3006 Hickory Hill Drive.
Thank you. Anything else, ma'am?
As long as I said they're great, and they're so kind, too. And by the time I get to feeling better, I joke a little bit, and they're with the humor, too. So they are well-rounded personnel. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else for or against? Please state for or against.
For.
Thank you.
And good evening. My name is Matthew McBride. I live at 1206 East Point. I currently serve as a paramedic supervisor with First Health here in Lee County. I was raised here in Lee County. My parents and much of my extended family still call this place home. I've spent my entire 15-year career as a paramedic serving the people of this county, and I take a lot of pride in being able to help my neighbors in their time of need. About 4 years ago, I went through a contract transition with the county changed EMS providers. I saw firsthand how difficult that process was, not only for the crews, but for the county as a whole. Staffing became a massive hurdle, and learning a completely new system caused many challenges. Those challenges were handled promptly and efficiently by First Health. That experience taught me that changing systems isn't just a line item on a paper. It directly affects response times, safety, and the people doing the work. Since that time, First Health has shown a clear commitment to improving EMS in Lee County. During COVID, staffing shortages became a major issue. First Health didn't wait for someone else to fix it. They created a paramedic academy to grow and train local talent right here at home. When applications slowed, they responded quickly with a pay study, increased wages for all EMTs and paramedics, which helped keep positions filled and morale high. And most recently, they've invested in auto-loading stretchers for every frontline ambulance, a major step forward in both provider safety and patient care. But First Health's investment in Lee County goes far beyond just EMS. They've made long-term commitments to First Health's medical facility on Beechtree, as well as multiple primary care and specialty offices, all of which strengthen healthcare access and support the overall well-being of our community. That shows me that they're not just a contractor, they're a true community partner with deep roots and a vested interest in Lee County's success. Since I've been employed by First Health, I have never felt more confidence in an employer in my professional career. They have met every need and request that has been put forth to them by their employees and the community. As you consider this contract, I simply ask that you weigh not only the numbers, but the people behind the service, the medics who live here, raise families here, and are dedicated to protecting this community. A transition to another provider might look simple on paper, but it comes with significant challenges that affect both first responders and the citizens we serve. First Health has proven their commitment through action, investment, and constant improvement. I believe continuing this partnership is the best path forward for stability, safety, and the health of Lee County. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else speaking for? Speaking against? Please let us know and give us your name and address, sir.
Name is David Smoke. Address is 96 Northridge Trail, Sanford. I'm speaking for the concept of awarding a franchise. I was a customer of First Health earlier this year. It's great service. The only reason I'm up here speaking is because I do have experience in the military with some federal contracts, and what I heard kind of perked my ear up that there's an allegation of possible impropriety during the bidding process. I don't know if this has been discussed behind the scenes or it's already been investigated. I do know if it's been publicly made, hopefully they'll be documented in writing and investigated to see if they're with merit or not. If there are discrepancies in the bidding process, then there can be different solutions proposed to resolve it, but without addressing those concerns, concerns me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for or against? Questions of the board? Commissioner Martin?
None.
Commissioner Levick?
None, thank you.
Commissioner Connect? Commissioner Reeves? Commissioner Sharp?
No questions.
Okay. I now convey the closing of this public hearing. Thank you. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is holding the first reading of the EMS franchise ordinance. Ms. Whitney.
So the board can hold the first reading of the ordinance this evening. It's at a copy of the ordinance is at your seat. Or if the board chooses to, you can wait and hold this at your October 20th meeting after your second public hearing. That would also be fine. We just have to have, the ordinance has to pass at 2 regular board meetings, and then we'll also have a franchise agreement. But essentially, the ordinance in front of you just reads that after due deliberation at its meetings held, if we do it tonight, October 6th and October 20th, the board determined there's a need for emergency and non-emergency ambulance services in Lee County, and that the board thereupon voted to award the exclusive franchise to First Health of the Carolinas for the provision of emergency ambulance services and non-emergency convalescent services in Lee County. Pursuant to Section 1092 of the Emergency Service Ordinance, First Health of the Carolinas has made application for franchise to operate an emergency and non-emergency ambulance service in Lee County. First Health is in compliance with Article 7 of Chapter 131E of the North Carolina General Statutes. First Health is entitled to have such franchise granted, and granting the franchise is necessary to assure provision of adequate continuing emergency and non-emergency ambulance services in Lee County, and will preserve, protect, promote the public health, safety, and welfare of the community. The procedures in 153A 250, 153A 45, and 153A 46 have been complied with. First Health of the Carolinas is hereby granted the exclusive permission and franchise to operate an emergency ambulance service, and the exclusive permission to franchise to operate a non-emergency convalescent ambulance service in Lee County upon the terms and conditions set forth in the franchise agreement. These franchises shall exist and continue for a period as set forth in the franchise agreement unless earlier terminated or extended, and First Health will continuously maintain liability insurance pursuant to the franchise agreement, and the franchises and rights, privileges, and authority hereby granted shall take effect and be in full force and form until after July 1, 2026, until terminated or extended pursuant to the agreement. So the agreement will bring back to you all after the October 20th meeting. So it's up to the board if you all want to take action on the first reading tonight or wait till the 20th. It really does, it's just up to your discretion.
Everyone's read the EMS Advisory Committee minutes from the August 28th, 2025 meeting. Any questions on that? Commissioner Sharp?
No questions.
Commissioner Reeves?
No questions.
Commissioner Connect? Commissioner Lovick?
None, thank you.
Commissioner Martin?
None.
Do we have a motion to move forward with the ordinance franchise, the negotiations? Seeing none, then we'll pull it
Wait till
up.
the 20th, yeah.
We'll wait till the 20th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next item is public comments. I did notice from the public comment sheet that everyone that signed up to speak for the EMS franchise, you're more than welcome to come back up, but we're going to limit you to 3 minutes. First individual on the public comments is David Smoke. And again, sir, your name and address.
Good evening, Commissioners. David Smoke, 96 Northridge Trail, Sanford. I'm going to read it fast. I already sent you an email with my comments in full because I'll probably run out of time. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here to criticize your actions taken during the September 15th meeting. But as always, thank you for your service to us. It is my hope to persuade you to be a little more skeptical and critical of these requests being brought to you in the future. Your last meeting was quite a long one, I believe, because you continue to dabble in micromanaging and spending our tax money without following clear principles and policies. At the June 2nd county meeting, a bond presentation was made for $4 million that clearly outlined financing fees and different bank options. I thank you for having such a transparent presentation and pointing out how bad it was to finance the $180,000 in fees for 15 years, in addition to the principal amount. You voted to pay those fees directly, which also provided a traceable amount on how much we continue to pay in borrowing costs. Well, apparently the powers that be decided to stop doing that, and when borrowing over $7 million for the Koch building, we have gone back to the obscure documentation of just showing the public the resolution without also sharing the financial details. I wish you would demand an equivalent presentation that was made for the June 2nd hearing for all future bond hearings. You approved $7.8 million, and while I appreciated the question on how much interest would be paid, you should also be asking about fees and how much net borrowing is actually going to your projects. Finally, for the public record, we should all recognize we are paying higher interest on these debts because you commissioners are making these bond decisions yourself because you don't want to wait or you don't trust the voters to approve them in elections. Regarding your zoning decisions, I cannot emphasize enough how your own weakness at enforcing our outdated master plan creates additional work for everyone, including yourself. I found it humorous that when talking about the farm easements, supporting the land use plan was listed as an advantage, while you and the city routinely vote to ignore and override it. If you want this county to grow haphazardly, keep doing what you're doing. If you want a cohesive plan, then demand another Plan San Lee and approve UDO changes that make violations of that plan more expensive and difficult to obtain, to include municipal annexation. Ask for a local bill at the state level if you are told state law is stopping you. Regarding your farm easement program, I hope you realize 92% of the taxpayer dollars you spent is going to lawyers, probably not even Lee County lawyers at those rates. Based on my own review of public documents, the Ayers Farm easement you approved of for 2 parcels has a combined market value of $567,000, and taxpayers already grant them a 94% discount on their county taxes, which is based on the present use value of $32,300. Those 2 parcels have a current property tax of $210 per year, a savings of $3,478, which costs must be absorbed by the other county taxpayers. So what you did at the last meeting is approve more money than those parcels have probably paid in their entire history to give to lawyers to keep those properties paying hardly anything in taxes for their foreseeable future. I don't know the Ayers family. I'm sure they're good people, but they have only owned that land for 3 years. So they have personally only paid about $600 in taxes since they have even owned it. This is a bad program for many reasons. You're being manipulated for your emotional and the media response to the tagline of helping the farmers. Thank you for resisting the proposal to actually expand it. Please take a harder look at what you are doing. I know I'm out of time. I would have made a comment about the schools, but I did send an email. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I got it 45 minutes ago. Okay, next item under old business, Public Safety Warehouse and Colts Facility Project Review. Mr. Brandon Key.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners, and staff. I want to go through the warehouse project for Lee County, kind of go back where we were, high level of where we're at and how we got here. So we're looking at storage solutions for the county and equipment. In the past, they have been lease spaces. Recommendation moving forward is to purchase, and went through several properties, and the property we are identified and selecting is the old Coca-Cola buildings. Also want to highlight this has been a collaborative effort, working with emergency management, fire marshal, sheriff's office, administration, development services, and many others. I want to thank everybody for the help. There we go. So to start with, the previous solution was a lease space. Sheriff's Office Emergency Management had two separate agreements. They had about 18,000 square feet they were using, and then they still had overflow space at other fire departments and other locations throughout the county. We were notified that this agreement that was in place some time ago was going away, and we had a certain number of days to move everything out and find a new solution. Then also in the CIP, the Public Safety Warehouse was put in the CIP several years ago. This was originally going to be a warehouse new build on the Jonesboro school site. That would include demoing the old school steel frame building, 30,000 square feet, and estimated cost was right at $6 million. Land was not considered in this cost estimate. So once we moved on past that site, and when the lease was ran out, we were pushed to find a solution quicker. We looked at several different options throughout the county. I listed 10 here that we looked at. There's several more that other individuals had researched and went to, but as a group, we went to these and a few more. 10 properties are listed, but additional properties are also researched. So just want to give an idea of where we were looking and how many options we looked at. So looking at the Coca-Cola property, was identified, it provides two buildings, one at 38,000 square feet, which will be used for warehouse storage, one at 8,600 square feet, which is planned for office space. And the office will house Colts and veteran services. You also have a lot of 8.6 acres that allow flexibility for storage and future expansion if needed. Also, the current layout allows for fencing to be installed easily for security. So going to the plans a little bit, on the large building, warehouse storage, which is being used now, and I have a slide coming up to show some of that. Small updates to the building, just for improved efficiencies for the storage, some security and controlled access. There are offices in this building, will not be renovated at this time. And the main goal is just storage at this, the larger building. Small building, like we talked about, office space renovation and addition for Colts and veteran services. Minor exterior updates as needed. Veteran services was added because of availability of the space. Right now they're in the Richmond Center sharing space in the lobby and some offices. The Colts move will also free up parking and space at the IT building, which is on Douglas Drive. And this location is well located for the public interfacing services, including microtransit. So for the large building, just showing an image here of the fire marshal and sheriff using this building now. There's a separate bay around 9,000 square feet, which is dedicated to the sheriff, and that allows for easily separating and securing their equipment and evidence away from everybody else. And small building, going into Colts, the plan will be 8 offices, break room, bathroom, training room, exterior storage, secured perimeter fence for the vans, and employee parking. Veterans Affairs, 3 offices, shared break room, bathroom, and then also a lobby space for public interface. Just going through some of the costs, see some of the costs, the current expenses that we have now, estimated costs going forward. And you guys had a chance to look over this, but just what we're looking at, based on what we're borrowing and the cost that we have known to date, will give us about $1.8 to $2.1 million to complete the renovations. Operating cost, we went through and pulled all the data that we could here. We got previous utility bills from the owner, past users. We reached out to Duke and got their best estimate on this type of building and the building location itself. We pulled the cost from Douglas Drive for IT to represent what Colts would be using in the new, smaller building. And that just gave us some ideas of what to budget for the coming year for utilities. Also part of this, we went through and costed out building a new building similar to this, not counting land, 45,000 square feet with brick exterior, 15,000 square feet of office space, 30,000 square feet of storage, and that is right at $18 million, new build today. So just in closing, we looked at several spaces throughout the process. We looked at costs of a new build, and internally, we're all in agreement that purchase of existing buildings is the best case for Lee County to gain the flexibility and functionality of the operations needed today. And I'll take any questions.
Questions for Brandon? Commissioner Martin.
Oh, I get to go first. Great. Thanks, Brandon. That's a solid presentation. I do have a few questions. I'll work backwards, starting with the last slide, the comparison slide. Initially, we were talking about building a building for the with we were talking 18,000 square feet was the original build. Is that correct?
18,000 square feet is the original space they leased, and they were already out. They were overgrown.
And we were
for that
talking
space.
about building over at the school. What size space?
That was 30,000.
30.
Let me make sure.
Okay. And we are, and the reason I'm asking that is because the last slide, we're doing a comparative on building to the size of the Koch building, but we've never talked about having that size of space. The extra space is beneficial in the future potentially, but we haven't talked about building or utilizing this amount of space before. We were content with 30,000, I believe.
So the
Is that
original was
right?
30,000, you're
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
We did 45,000 because if you add up the two buildings, there's around 43,000 square feet. So we rolled office and warehouse space into that.
Okay. I'm just going to run through some thoughts here. I know you said we have 1.8 to 2-ish for renovations. Do we have an estimate on what renovations are going to run just for what we need to do, not for the building that we're not looking at, but for the offices, the 11 offices, 4 to 6 bathrooms, probably, like an estimate on this?
We have a couple different estimates that give us cost per square foot between 300 to 415 per square foot, and we know we could do 4,000 square feet of office space to support that.
And that's what you need in that building?
Correct.
The other thought that I have, and this might be directed more toward county manager, but you can direct that if it need be, but considering the old library building, I know there were conversations in the past as we looked at buying this building in particular, that the sale of that library building, when it does happen, would be put toward the purchase of this building. Is that still something that that's drafted into what we're thinking here, or where are we at with that?
The board would have to make that decision when the library is sold as to whether or not they wanted to put that into the future renovations to be done in the larger section of the building.
But we could put it onto the direct payment after we hit the amount of time that we have to pass before we can start paying down the principal. Is that correct?
You would have to pay it off. Yes, you could use it to pay off the debt early once the time has passed, if you want to hold that as funds until then.
That's all the questions that I have. Thanks. Thank you.
Commissioner Lovick.
I know this is hypothetical. How many acres, if we went with a new building at $18 million, 45,000 square feet, how many acres would you think we would need if we looking?
So on the 30,000 square feet, original design, we were looking at 3 to 5 acres. So I would say 5 acres.
Would that include a
for-
lay-down area and coach parking?
Correct.
And did you do any estimates on that
I
of
did
what
not.
land's going forward?
I did not.
Added to the 18, something new?
Correct.
Thank you.
You know, let me jump back on the land question. When we originally talked about, the original idea of putting up a building over the Jonesboro site, the land wasn't included in that cost. And my understanding is that was because there would not need to be land purchased, right? Remind me of that situation.
Yes, we would have had to pay the schools the land, fair market value for the land. The concept would have been that they would have taken that to offset the cost of their project.
Right.
And so we just had left it out at that point.
It's null and void anyway,
Right.
but I was just, thank you.
But it would have added to the cost.
Thank you.
That's all I got. Thank you, Brandon.
Commissioner Connect. Commissioner Reeves.
I've got one regarding our current situation in terms of ordering materials. Do you know, or Ryan, either one know, we having any backlog on getting parts or building materials?
So I know on electrical, like panels and some HVAC, that's been around 12 months lead time. I don't know. He's in agreement.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sharp.
No questions.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a resolution related to the financing for the purchase of the Coca-Cola building, regarding the Coca-Cola building, excuse me.
Good evening, Commissioners. In your package, you should have received 3 attachments: the final resolution for the LOBS 2025 Bravo, the bond purchasing agreement, and the first supplemental trust agreement. The board held the public hearing on September 15th and approved the resolution making certain findings and determinations regarding the proposed financing of the purchase and improvement of the Coca-Cola building, as well as approving the purchaser and requesting the LGC to approve the financial agreement. At this time, staff is requesting your approval of the final resolution authorizing the financing to purchase and making improvements to the Coca-Cola building not to exceed $7.8 million, while also approving the execution and delivery of documents in connection with this purchase. And I'll take questions if you have any.
Questions for Commissioner Sharp?
No questions, but move to approve at appropriate time.
Okay, motion's accepted. Commissioner Reeves?
No questions.
Commissioner Connect? Commissioner Lovick?
None, thank you.
Commissioner Martin?
None.
Thank you, Jen. Thanks. I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing and approving the financing of the Coca-Cola building through the issuance of a not to exceed $7,800,000 limited obligation bond and the execution and delivery of certain documents in connection therewith. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Opposed.
Can I have a show of hands of the ayes, please? Did you get that? Thank you. Moving on to new business, North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections grant funding.
Yes, sir. As you may remember, this past spring, we moved ahead, or past winter and spring, we moved ahead with a reentry program that would have developed a reentry council, et cetera. And in the budget, we funded a position with those grant funds, which we had been told would be a 2-year grant. However, with the state not adopting a full budget, we have been notified that our grant award has been basically canceled. We were holding off coming to you. We did get a 1-month extension through September 30th. We did not come to you at the September meeting because we were hoping that action was going to be taken and we would be given notification that our grant would be reenacted. At this point, that has not happened. We are still being told there may be hope. However, I am asking at this time that we be allowed to continue the position through June 30th and take the funds from ARPA funding, ARPA revenue loss funding, to the amount of up to $54,748, if needed, to get us to June 30th, 2026. At that time, we will have gone through the budget process and we'll know, hopefully by then, what the state's intentions are and can budget accordingly and come back to you about the position during that budget process.
Questions for Lisa? Commissioner Martin?
Is that the shortest term that we can make a decision on?
Are you asking, can we do a longer term?
No, I'm asking if we can go shorter until we hear from, do we know if we do have funding or not?
You can, if you so choose. I mean, we just don't know when we're going to hear, so we were just going to try to take it through the budget year and deal with it during the budget process, but we can shorten that.
Do we have any indication as to where they are with, I mean, it's kind of, I get this, I know the situation. My concern, of course, is that everything is falling down to the county level, and we, at some point, we have to say we can't pick up the slack with local tax dollars for programs that are supposed to be state and federal funded, that are optional.
Right. And that is the reason we've suggested using the ARPA revenue loss
Yeah.
funds. However, you can, if the board chooses to do something else, we can go ahead and eliminate the position.
All right, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Lovick?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Connect?
Thank you.
Commissioner Reeves?
No question.
Commissioner Sharp?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. So the board is asked to continue funding for the reentry coordinator position through June 30th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion to continue funding the reentry coordinator position through June 30th, 2026, using ARPA revenue loss funds if needed. Hopefully, Raleigh will get their act together and don't wait until December. All those, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on, manager's report.
I would just like to say that we are monitoring both the federal shutdown and trying to figure out the impacts. What we're learning is that this is basically being handled differently than in years past, and so everybody's trying to figure it out. So some programs we've been told there's funding through basically this week, and then it will be a decision has to be made. So, but we are trying to continue to monitor it. Departments are trying to take actions to hold funds so that if it does fall on us, that we can continue services or make adjustments in a timely manner. So.
Questions for Lisa? Commissioner Sharp?
No questions.
Commissioner Reeves? Commissioner Connect?
Thank you.
Commissioner Lovick?
None, thank you, ma'am.
Commissioner Martin?
Just a question on what you just said, County Manager, regarding gathering information from the federal government. Where are we with the position that was voted in for I don't recall the title of the position, but basically similar to liaison? Part of the position would be liaison and gathering information and passing that.
The position has posted, correct, Haley? We have the position posted.
Thank you.
Next item is the commissioner's comments. If we can start with Commissioner Martin.
I'm very excited to start again our double meetings a year and looking forward to shorter meetings rather than these 3.5-hour long meetings, although I enjoy you all very much. No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lovick.
Just like to thank the Lee County Youth Council coming out tonight. Hopefully they're learning about government, local government in particular. And thanks for all the comments that came out tonight. And thank you for the EMS presentations, and looking forward to having great service for our county citizens in the coming years. Thank you.
Commissioner Connect.
I just want to send my condolences out to the Wilson family. I know he was a community leader for a long time in this town, long before I've ever been here. I'm sure Commissioner Reeves has more to say on that, but I just want to send out my condolences to the family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Reeves.
I'd just like to thank everyone who had the opportunity to attend Mr. William T. Bill Wilson's homegoing celebration, and those who could not be there. I understand, and thank you for your prayers.
Commissioner Sharp?
Yeah, I just want to apologize for being late. I was walked in a little late today. Don't normally do that, but had a problem with one of my doggy children that I had to take to the vet, so
That's it?
that's it.
Okay. Well, I wasn't late. I do want to say Lee County has lost a pillar in our community with Mr. Bill Wilson's passing. Unfortunately, I was in Ferguson, North Carolina from all last week, so I caught up on the celebration of Mr. Wilson's life when the Zoom meeting that I had with Todd Tucker and Jimmy Randolph. Are they here? No? Okay. Anyway, we had a good meeting with the mayor as well as Mayor Andrews. I do want to just highlight the fact that every time I go to these boards and commissions, I do try to present to you a report on what we're doing, what's being accomplished, what is being discussed. And there's quite a few coming up that are going to be relatively informative and instructional, as well as will require this board to take action down the road with the cost involved. So just, I'll keep you abreast of that. And on the other side, I just want to say, before we close, please drive safely, wear your seatbelt, no speeding. So many close calls driving back from the western part of the state yesterday was just aggravating. With that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn? Have a motion to adjourn. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We are now adjourned. Thank you very much. Please drive safely, wear your seatbelts, and no speeding.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies. You know the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. You know the night's magic seem to whisper and hush. You know the soft moonlight seems to shine